The howls from the peak of the snowy mountains lead us further onwards with the Arctic investigation, and it's here where we meet face to face with our next Zenith Blangonga, the snowline. It was always in a bit of a middling spot of the primates to me personally. Nowhere near as powerful or iconic as Rajang, and lacked the silliness and tongue-in-cheek style of Kongalala, not to mention that the hyper version in Generations Ultimate was a real piece of work. I don't really have too fond memories of the guy due to that, so we were approaching the Monarch Zenith Blangonga with some trepidation and a chip on our shoulders. It's a threatening sight that greets us here at the top of the snowy mountains. It's a solid squat form with a rather impressive crest. It's a clear image of age and status among the Blango pack, and the design itself really leans into that. The fur is actually styled in a curious way, with a broad moustache and sideburns, and the more you look, the more you realise it's almost like an image of a war tribe leader or a tiki mask. You can also see how the orange segments of the fur are reminiscent of shoulder pads, much like a blazer, with excess fur at the wrist even looking like tailored sleeves. This is a Blangonga who is not just the leader, but the commander and absolute ruler of the lot. And that much is evident in the trailer for its introduction, where you can see even the standard Blangonga are taking orders from the Zenith and bowing down. Obviously we can see what the enhanced Zenith body part in question here is, with the two arms. Onto the fight itself. It's pretty relentless. From the opening roar to the moment one of you falls, Zenith Blango is fast, using the side and back hops of the base species to run circles around you. Luckily you'll have the mobility of extreme style to help you with your matchup, but the ever-present threat of Zenith Ice Blight means that you'll be slowed right down if you get tagged. So once again, it's really recommended that you bring enough resistance to keep your combos going, just so you don't have to take a break to mash out of the condition. Even so, there's still a couple of moves that you have to be wary of. Firstly, much like our report on Zenith Kezu, you're really going to want to avoid being directly in front of the ape. Specifically, this will help with breaking the arms for your Zenith rewards, and they break separately, so you'll want to make sure that you focus those down before the monster falls. Not only that, but the Snow Breath from the base species has gotten a deadly upgrade. If you're caught in this attack, you're instantly frozen to the spot and your health chunks down. This is a straight up death right here, and as such you just have to make sure you're constantly strafing. The next to be wary of is the snowball roll. Blangonga will bunch up some snow in its mitts, wind up and bowl a ton of snow at you, and if you get hit, you're stuck in the snowball with your health rapidly winding down until you hit something. Naturally, if you don't find a wall very quickly, you're pretty much toast, and the projectile itself can't be blocked, so it's highly recommended that you get ready to roll or sidestep this one. This move does have two very common tells for where it comes out however, so if you're wary of the Zenith's movements, you can tell the attack before it even starts. One tell is where Blango will jump backwards from idle. 9 times out of 10 this will be followed up with the snowball, and the other combo is from a body slam. The tracking isn't too insane on this one, so you can strafe it, but it's best to be proactive and dodge right through. With that, we're on to the upper levels now, starting with G rank 400. Thankfully the area shifts over to the Polar Sea, a much more enjoyable open area, and without that terrible climb back to the fight if you take a cart. Here we'll see the introduction of the new flip attack and into a second slam. It's a pretty obvious attack to see, just be aware of the fact that Blango ends up right on top of you, meaning that if you choose to guard point there may be some inconsistency with your direction, and it's often safer to evade. As we've come to expect, there's no real changes at G rank 600, aside from the more frequent ability to do the snowball attack from standstill. We're seeing a bit of a pattern here with the Zeniths, however let me tell you, it's a pattern that will be broken in wonderful ways down the line. At G rank 800 there's no real changes here as well, to Blangonga at least. It's just the same snowy mountains, a tough as nails baboon and your weapon, right? Well you forget, he's the leader of the bunch. With a single roar out come the kids. The Blango minions that are summoned throughout the fight now pack their own punch, and are capable of throwing a slightly less lethal version of the snowball attack. It's incredibly annoying considering there are 4 of the shits, but with any luck during your fracas a single attack will clip them and they'll fold easily, so you just gotta hope that one of them doesn't jump to safety. It is a really nice way to solidify Blangonga's status as the pack ruler, but it's also a very annoying thing to get tagged by. 4 Blangos with their speed and their small hitbox running around with the ability to throw you across the map can get very annoying, so it's no wonder you see in some speedruns that people choose to tag the kids before Blango gets going. Now there's a final word I'd like to say about the part break. It does have some negligible effects here. Really, all it does is lessen the range and outright remove the Zenith tremor on the ground attacks. Overall, Zenith Blangonga was a nicely telegraphed fight that punished hard if you didn't keep up with its speed. Now the design itself I personally loved, and that bruising, brawling fight of the ape was something that just sort of made sense. With a fast weapon like Switch Axe or Sword and Shield, it really felt like you were going toe to toe, punch for punch, and that's a lovely feeling in Monster Hunter. The monster stays up, you stay up, and you're just slugging it out until the end. Now being a slightly early Zenith, there wasn't too much craziness here, so this is going to be a much shorter episode compared to the other previous ones. But that concludes the report on Zenith Blangonga, and next episode we'll be having the last report of the Arctic region. Stay tuned for that. I hope you enjoyed. Sira out.